What's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we are back for some player props and spreads in the NBA for Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Game 1 was a doozy, a 13-point Suns victory. Chris Paul dominated with 30 points. Deandre Ayton, same thing. He dominated 20 points, almost 20 rebounds. Chris Paul steals the last one at the end. But like I said, we crushed that Ayton prop in Game 1. We got lucky on the Brook Lopez under. We're back to get after it today in Game 2. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're sitting at a little over 7,200 subscribers. So give yourselves a round of applause. We appreciate everyone that's joining the community. Not only clicking that subscribe button, clicking the like button, joining the Discord if you want, which is linked down below. But the goal is 8,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA Finals. If it's only a 4-game series, which you never know, you guys got some work to do. So smash that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Also, shout out to our newest COS All-Star, Tina. She's a longtime COS supporter and also a Nets fan, so put a GG RIP to her Nets in the chat. She was at a couple of those games in the playoffs. I'm brutal for her, but let's talk about Game 2. Suns sitting at 6.5-point favorites in Game 1. Today, they showed up and covered. Today, only around 5.5 points at this moment. Vegas, I expect a better showing out of the Bucks, and I think that's what they will get. The over-under sitting at around 219 to 220. Obviously, I recorded these videos a little bit earlier in the day, in the mornings, so you never really know. Those lines might change, but I think they'll stay more or less around the same. So today, I'm making one of those over-unders in official plays, and we got some same-game parlays coming your way for the people that can do them. We got one safe one and one long shot same-game parlay, so stick around. Also, shout out to everyone that was in the first live stream since April. We live streamed the first half of Game 1. Shout out to everyone that stuck by. Also, if you're a football fan, I posted my first NFL video on the channel. I went through a whole mock draft for fantasy football. I'll link that at the end of the video as well as in the description and in the comments. I'll pin it down there. Appreciate it. Go check out that one. Show some love on it, even if you just click the like button or see my final team at the end of it. It was a lot of fun, and I would love the feedback on the video. But let me know your favorite play in today's Game 2 in the comments below. We're going to get after it. Where are we starting? We're starting with the man, Brook Lopez. We're taking his under, 5.5 rebounds, -110. Now you might think Calling Our Shot is an anti-Brook Lopez channel, and while it might not be entirely inaccurate based on our couple of most recent plays, but I do like Brook Lopez. He's a funny and interesting player to watch. But today I'm going with his under, and we went with his under in Game 1, and it cashed out when we got a little bit lucky. But now let's look at the track. Now you could be like, but Austin, he hit this over in Game 1. He had 6 rebounds. Austin, he's hit this over in 3 straight games, albeit 2 of those without Giannis. Now let's talk about it. Let's break down the stats. Obviously, Game 1, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Still cashed our under 23.5 points plus rebounds. But the main reason that I'm on this bet is that he got played off the court, and I don't believe he played a single minute in the fourth quarter. And scratch that. He actually didn't play a single minute in the final. I believe he clocked out around the 4-minute and 40-second mark in the third quarter, somewhere around that. So he didn't play the final 16 minutes of the game. And just like the Game 1 of the Atlanta series, he got played off the court. And then in Game 2 where you saw Trae Young, and that was also a Bucks loss, you saw Trae Young drop 48 points. Now, Brook Lopez came back and bounced back in Game 2. It's not like he was entirely benched. He came back. Didn't have a great statistical game. I believe only like 7 points and 2 rebounds. But he still didn't play. He still played well. But, you know, today, could he be played off the court? I mean, it's hard to really match up with this Suns team. They can kind of beat you in a bunch of different ways. But let's get back to Game 1. He piled up 6 rebounds. 5 of those were offensive rebounds, and basically all of them were on the offensive glass on one of the possessions. If you know the possession, you know what I'm talking about. He basically cleaned up 3 rebounds in 1 possession. I think the Suns will clean that up. They don't want to be giving the Bucks second opportunities. Could we see Giannis more at the 5, small ball lineup? Potentially, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. There are several different ways that Lopez could go under here. 1, he could not play a lot of minutes. 2, he could get in foul trouble, kind of going back to number 1. And 3, he's just not, sometimes he doesn't even try to rebound the ball. He's just kind of blocking out, letting Giannis, Khris, Middleton, Jrue Holiday, all of them pile it up. So any of those options are cool with me. I'm locking it in, and we're rolling with it. Brook Lopez, under 5.5 rebounds. Moving on to the same player, the Greek Freak, Giannis, over 11.5 rebounds, -116. And I know, by the time you've seen this line's probably changed. And that's because it should change, because it's too low, in my opinion. Could it be 12.5 now? Yes. Could it be -140 now? Yes, that's also. But I like this play a lot. And here's why. He's coming off 17 rebounds in Game 2, and that was just 35 minutes played. So could his minutes go up or down today? I think they'll stay around the same, maybe even increase. You never really know. No one expected him to be out there in Game 1, and he was out there beasting and feasting. Like I said, could we see more Giannis at the 5? I'm not really sure. But either way, if you go back to Game 1, that's when their lineup, when they cut the deficit to just 7 points. And so could Budenholzer switch? Yeah, it's going to be a tough time. When you think about it, like on a side note, this Suns team's amazing at pick and roll and picking their mid-ranges. That's what CP3 and Devin Booker both love to do. Now, if they do go small and take out Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, put, Giannis at the 5, then you got to play a lot of minutes for Pat Connaughton, who just gets used and abused on defense as well. Now, this is really when they miss Big Ragu, Dante DiVincenzo. Did I just go on this soliloquy to just mention or say Big Ragu? Probably, but still a valid point. So it's hard to see what Budenholzer will officially go with, but Giannis has hit 12-plus rebounds in 11 of the 16 postseason games. That would be 69%. And on that note, we have to say it tonight. We are getting Greek freaky. We're taking it. Giannis over 11.5 rebounds. Moving on, Deandre Ayton over 12.5 rebounds, minus 105. I know you're like, what the heck, man? You're just giving me rebounds plays. And yeah, that's partly because all these points lines are sharp as heck. And I think we got a little bit of an edge on these rebound props. It's obviously hard to bet player props in the playoffs. It just is. It's just how it is. But I don't really feel confident betting like a Khris Middleton or a Devin Booker or a CP3 line. You could bet Ayton's again if you really want to, but I'm just going to stick with these rebounds props because I like them. DeAndre Ayton over 12.5 rebounds. Game 1, Ayton was a demon. 19 rebounds, 17 defensive rebounds. Almost got that 2020 game like we talked about. CP3 stealing the final rebound on that final possession. The best part is playing time. He played over almost 39 minutes. I believe like 38 minutes and 44 seconds or something like that. And he's only eclipsed that number 8 times this season. He's only played more of the minutes than that 8 times. And lucky for him, that playing time is here to stay. Sadly, Dario Saric, RIP in the chat, big man, the backup big man too, Ayton tore his ACL. Get well soon to him, but they're down to just Frank Kaminsky and DeAndre Ayton, and I guarantee you Monty Williams, the coach of the Phoenix Suns, does not want to see Frank Kaminsky in the game, and then he saw that with just 4 minutes, and Brook Lopez, I think, scored a couple times. Monty Williams was like, yeah, no, get out of here. I think we'll see 40 minutes of Ayton tonight, maybe even up near that 38 to 40 minutes. And if you look at it in games this postseason where Ayton has saw over 37 minutes, he's averaging 16 rebounds per game. He's hit the over in 4 of those 6 games. And his 2 losses came against the Lakers when he didn't hit this over. And that was when he's just boxing out Andre Drummond, letting other people get the rebound. His role now is to go up and get those offensive, or really the defensive rebounds, clear, pass it off to Chris Paul, get him in transition. So I like that role for him, and I'm taking his over. 12.5 rebounds, locking it in. My final play of the day, the under. I'm taking the under 220.5 points, minus 115 on MGM. You don't just come out here and play this or this, odds boost here and there. You don't just get it and not expect me to bet the under. You see the odds boost. They're boosting at over 220.5 points, boosted to plus 150. What do they know? They gave out free money with Suns money line in game 1, and they don't give out free money twice in a row. They barely hit this over with 223 points, and that included 16 three-pointers from the Bucks, a number that they had only hit 3 times this postseason, and in their 17 games, 3 times out of their 17 games in the postseason. So I'm not expecting a clank show necessarily from the Bucks. I'm not saying bet the Bucks team total under, but I do think this game could go under. Even with the Bucks playing super fast, the small ball lineup, trying to come back in the fourth quarter. They still both only combined for 55 points. They did that over 4 quarters. They'd still hit this under on the hook. The Suns, minus Jay Crowder. Yes, you heard minus Jay Crowder. They shot over 50% from the field, 25 for 26 from the line, which that's to be expected because they're a great free throw shooting team. But I like the under. I think the Bucks will make adjustments. And if you look at this postseason, the Bucks in the game 1s have given up nearly 113 points per game. In game 2s, they've given up only 105 points per game, holding 2 teams, the Heat and the Hawks, to under 100 points. I believe the Brooklyn Nets were like 120 or something along those lines. That's an 8-point differential. I think Mike Budenholzer will put in some adjustments, play a little bit better defense on Booker and CP3. They'll still get their points. They're still great players, but I like the under in this one, and that's what I'm locking in. Now, before we get into same-game parlays, because I know some people don't have them, here's an official recap of my 4 plays. To the people that don't have SGPs, still stick around because I'm still going to give you some insight into a bunch of different player props. Brook Lopez, under 5.5 rebounds. Giannis, over 11.5 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton, over 12.5 rebounds. And the under 220.5 points. I don't mind it at 219 if that's what you got it at. Now, let's move on to some same-game parlays, and I'm going to do a safe one and a long shot. The safe one, sitting at around plus 400 odds, and this is for a lot of those people out there that use FanDuel and have a risk-free SGP for $10. Consider looking at this one. I really like this one. Starting with the first leg, Brook Lopez, under 17.5 points. Even with the great game 1, he still went under. He only had 17 points. Could he be played off the court? You never know. Just don't think he's scoring over this. He really hasn't done that very, very many times this postseason, so I like it. DeAndre Ayton, over 13.5 points. Obviously had his over in game 1. Don't mind his regular over, but he's gone over in 6 of his last 7 games. I like his role. He's obviously going to play a lot of minutes, and they were giving him some free buckets by just fronting him with PJ Tucker or Jrue Holiday or whatnot. Throw it over the top, an easy dunk. Like those two. Brook Lopez, under 7.5 rebounds. Back to Brook. You heard me talking a lot about this under 5.5 rebounds. He's hit this over in just one of his last 8 playoff games with Giannis. I don't think he's going to hit it today, and I don't think he's hitting his regular over. You'll probably see him in the long shot parlay of the day as well. Giannis over 9.5 rebounds. Giannis has double-digit rebounds in 14 of his 16 playoff games. The only games he missed were games he played under 30 minutes. I believe it was the Hawks blowout and the game he got injured. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that today. I think he'll play well over 30, and I think he's getting well over 10-plus rebounds. Locking that one in. Devin Booker, under 7.5 rebounds. I know we got a lot of legs, but I'm trying to explain them all to you. Devin Booker, under 7.5 rebounds. Just 2 rebounds in Game 1. Went under in 6 straight playoff games, and overall has gone under this line in 13 of 17 postseason games. I believe a majority of his overs were in the Lakers series when, like I said, Deandre Ayton was boxing out Andre Drummond for the most part. So I like this under there. Chris Paul, over 16.5 points. Don't mind taking his regular over, but you look at it, the shot attempts are there. He's just shooting like 17, 19 shot attempts a night. Now, I don't expect him to drop 30-plus points again. I just don't see that in his arsenal, but he's hit this over in 8 of his last 9 games. The shot attempts will be there. Bucks will play better defense, but he still can get his, still can shoot pretty well, and I think he'll get over 17 points. So locking that one in. Final one to get it up to plus 400 odds, the under 244.5 points. I know this is an alt total because the normal line is about 220. So we're going to give ourselves a lot of wiggle room. Under 220, 244.5 points, the highest over-under you can take the under. And it's the risk-free parlay just to get us up there. I like this parlay, like all, I believe 7 of those legs. Really good light. I really, really like that one. Now, let's move on to the long shot. This is a longer video than it normally should be, but a long shot, I want to give this out to you. Plus 7,162 odds. Turn $10 into $700. Now, this isn't a full unit play, or I wouldn't suggest ever putting a full unit on a parlay. And although right now, if you look on the screen, $10 or 10 Roanoke units, if you know, you know. But let's talk about each of the 4 legs. The first 3 legs we've already talked about. Brook Lopez, under 3.5 rebounds. Kind of a dart throw, but it's a long shot for a reason. Could he play very few minutes? Yes, he's went under this in 3 of his last 5 games with Giannis in the lineup. I don't think those offensive rebounds will be there like they were in Game 1. So I like those. Giannis and Ayton, both over 13.5 rebounds. Yes, both did this in Game 1. Yes, I'm on both of these props for Game 2. The regular lines, I do think both of them can get up to 14 rebounds. They're the primary rebounders for their team. I think they can get that. I've already talked about their potential a lot. Now, last one, Mikal Bridges coming out of left field, under 2.5 rebounds. Now, you got to look at it. 1 rebound in Game 1 over his last 10 playoff games. He's hit the over in just 5 of them. So 5 of 5. So, not great odds, but this is a long shot for a reason, including just 1 rebound in his past 2 games. He's obviously out on the perimeter guarding Khris Middleton for the majority, or Jrue Holiday. Not a lot of rebounds coming his way all the way out there. I do like it as a dart throw. Could he go out and drop 13 rebounds on our dome? Yes, he's done that before, but I do like the under here. Under 2.5 rebounds. I don't know as a regular line, probably like 4.5, because the under 2.5 is like plus 200 something value. But I like all 4 of these legs, and obviously put the same game parlay on the screen. I think we got a good chance cashing both of these. Let me know your favorite same game parlay down below in the comments below. Sorry for the long video, but there's a lot to cover in Game 2. I probably won't be live streaming this one. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. Leave me your favorite bet as well. Subscribe to the channel. Check out that NFL mock draft fantasy football first video of the NFL season. NFL season's coming up. Less than almost 2 months away, so check that out. I will link it right here. Appreciate all you guys' support. You guys are the absolute best. You've been killing it on all of our videos, not just mine, but Logan's videos, so go check out his for MLB picks. I appreciate it. This has been Austin. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Peace!